You already feel it. Something inside you is restless, not because you are weak, because you are unfinished. You have followed reality long enough. Its rules, its limits, its small expectations. Today, that ends. This is not expectations. Today, that ends. This is not about pretending. This is about choosing what you obey. Reality only has power because you keep agreeing with it. Pause. Breathe. What if the world responds after you decide, not before? What if belief comes first and proof follows? This audiobook is not comfort. It is activation. You will feel pressure. You will feel clarity. You will feel yourself separating from who you used to be. This is the moment everything changes for you. Not loudly, not publicly, internally. And once that shift happens, nothing can stop what you decide to become. Stay with me. You are ready now. The path opens as you step forward, calm, certain, aware that this decision echoes forever from here. Chapter 1. The lie you were taught to obey. You were not born doubting yourself. You were trained, slowly, quietly, through repetition. At first, reality felt neutral, just the way things are. Then it became authority, something you learned not to question, something you learned to obey. Not because it was true, because it was familiar. Reality was introduced to you as fact, as law, as the final word. You were told directly and indirectly that life works a certain way and your job is to fit inside it. Stay reasonable, be patient, wait your turn, don't reach too far. Don't expect too much, don't disrupt what already exists. So you adjusted, you adapted, you shrank without noticing. This is where the lie begins. Reality is not truth. Reality is agreement. It only exists as power because enough people accept it without resistance, because you were taught to look at what is instead of deciding what could be, because you were rewarded for compliance and warned against imagination. Pause here. Notice how early that training started. When you were praised for staying in line, when you were corrected for asking too many questions, when you learned that approval comes from fitting expectations, not challenging them, no one needed to imprison you. You learned to stop yourself. Reality became a fence, not built from steel, but from assumptions, invisible, silent, convincing. And the fence worked only because you stopped when you reached it. Think about that, a fence that has no force, no weight, no lock. A fence that exists only because you believe it does. This is not blame, this is awareness. You did what any intelligent human would do in a world designed to reward obedience. You learned the rules, you followed the patterns, you waited for permission. But now something inside you is resisting. That restlessness you feel is not confusion, it is recognition. Part of you has realized that the limits you accepted were never absolute. They were suggestions repeated until they felt permanent. They were opinions passed down as facts. They were fears disguised as wisdom. And here is where discomfort begins. Because once you see this, you cannot unsee it. You start to notice how often you hesitate before acting, how quickly you look outward for validation, how deeply the question, "Is this realistic?" has been wired into your thinking. That question sounds responsible, but listen closely. Most of the time it is fear wearing logic's clothing. Reality trains you to wait, to delay action until conditions are perfect, until approval arrives, until proof appears first. But proof never comes first. Decision does. Every major shift in history, in leadership, in personal transformation, began with someone acting before reality agreed, someone refusing to wait for external permission, someone choosing belief first. Yet, you were taught the opposite. You were taught that certainty must be earned from the outside, that confidence should follow results, that action is only safe after guarantees. So you learned to pause your life, not completely, just enough to stay comfortable, just enough to remain acceptable, just enough to never fully step into your capacity. And over time, that pause became your identity. This is where the internal conflict begins. You versus your old self, the version of you that waits, the version of you that asks, the version of you that measures every move against what already exists. That version kept you safe. but it also kept you small. Acknowledge that without judgment. Say it quietly, internally. I am ready. This is not about rejecting reality completely. This is about understanding its nature. Reality is a snapshot of past decisions, past beliefs, past agreements. It is the result, not the rule. When you treat it as unchangeable, you give it authority it never earned. Look at your life honestly. How many limits are truly physical? How many odd rules you accepted without questioning? How many are fences you never tested? Most people never test them. They assume resistance means danger. They confuse discomfort with impossibility. They interpret fear as a warning instead of a threshold, so they stay where they are. But you are here for a reason. Something in you is tired of inherited limits, tired of inherited limits, tired of living inside someone else's expectations, tired of negotiating with fear as if it were a decision maker. This is the moment of awakening. Not loud, not dramatic, clear. You begin to see that reality responds. It does not lead. It follows direction. It reorganizes itself around those who decide first and adjust later. That is how leadership works. That is how personal greatness works. You stop asking reality what is allowed. You start telling it what will happen. This requires courage, not reckless action, but internal authority, the willingness to act before reassurance arrives, the discipline to move even when the old voice says wait. That voice will speak again. Often, it will remind you of risks, of past failures, of reasons to stay reasonable. It will sound familiar because it is built from years of repetition. Do not fight it. Outgrow it. Each time you question instead of comply, its power weakens. Each time you act without permission, a new identity forms. This is not instant, but it is irreversible. Once you understand that reality is agreement, you realize something else. Agreements can be changed, and the moment you change what you agree with internally, the external world begins to shift. Slowly at first, then unmistakably. This is the awakening. You are no longer asleep inside your own life. You are aware. You are present. You know what needs to be done. Wake up. Question everything, and as this chapter closes, feel the tension rising. Because the fence has been seen, and you are standing in front of it, aware for the first time that stopping was always a chapter. Chapter 2. Why most people never break through. Most people do not fail, they settle. This distinction matters. Failure is loud, it is visible, it forces learning. Settlement is quiet, it feels reasonable. It hides inside routines, explanations, and comfort. And because it does not hurt immediately, it is rarely questioned. This is why most people never break through. Not because they lack talent, not because they lack intelligence, but because they grow familiar with a life that does not challenge them enough to change. Comfort does not arrive all at once. It builds slowly. It arrives disguised as stability, as balance, as being realistic. You adjust your goals to match what feels manageable. You lower intensity just enough to avoid friction. You trade urgency for predictability. Nothing feels wrong, and that is the danger. Normal life becomes a cage without bars. You wake up, perform expected roles, manage small responsibilities, and repeat. From the outside, everything looks fine. From the inside, something feels incomplete. But incomplete is tolerable. So you stay. You tell yourself there is time, that growth does not need to be rushed, that others have it worse, that you should be grateful. These thoughts sound mature, they sound grounded. They are also the voice of emotional safety protecting itself. Comfort does not want disruption. Comfort wants continuation. It rewards you with relief when you avoid risk. It calms you when you choose familiarity. Over time, your nervous system associates safety with sameness. New paths feel threatening, big decisions feel heavy. You begin to crave approval because approval confirms that you are still inside the accepted boundary. This is how the invisible cage forms, not from force but from agreement. You agree to trade possibility for certainty. You agree to delay your deeper potential in exchange for immediate peace. You agree to keep your ambitions reasonable so you do not stand out too much. fail too visibly, or disrupt the rhythm you have learned to survive in. And survival becomes the goal. Pause here. Notice how often comfort speaks through logic. It asks you to wait until conditions improve, until confidence arrives, until risk feels smaller, until others understand. It suggests that patience is wisdom, when in reality it is avoidance dressed as discipline. Delayed gratification is powerful, but delayed living is not. There is a difference between preparing and postponing, between discipline and delay. Most people confuse the two. They tell themselves they are being careful when they are actually being controlled by fear of discomfort. Comfort is patient. It can wait decades. It will let you make small improvements, minor adjustments, tiny upgrades that keep you feeling productive without ever forcing a true leap. It will encourage you to optimize the cage instead of leaving it. This is why familiarity is more dangerous than failure. Failure wakes you up. Familiarity puts you to sleep. Think of how many dreams fade not from rejection, but from neglect. How many ambitions slowly lose energy because daily life consumes attention. Not dramatically, gradually. You do not quit your potential, you forget it. Approval plays a role here. Humans are wired to belong, to be accepted. Comfort understands this. It uses approval as leverage. It whispers that pushing too far may cost you connection, that choosing a different path may isolate you, that being too intense might make others uncomfortable. So you soften yourself, you edit your desires, you dim your urgency, and each time you do, comfort tightens its hold. This is not weakness, this is conditioning. From an early age, safety was rewarded, compliance was praised, disruption was corrected. Over time, your system learned that approval equals security, that standing out equals risk. Breaking through requires reversing that pattern, not by rejecting others, but by refusing to let approval decide your direction. Leadership begins here. Leadership is not loud dominance, it is internal independence. The ability to tolerate temporary discomfort for long-term alignment. The courage to choose growth even when it disturbs the familiar. Most people never practice this. They wait for permission from circumstances. They wait for permission from circumstances. They wait for certainty from the outside. They wait until the cage feels unbearable. But the cage is designed to feel manageable. That is its brilliance. It gives just enough comfort to keep you from leaving, just enough reward to keep you compliant, just enough distraction to keep you busy. Breaking through requires stepping back. Step back from the rhythm you are inside. Step back from the explanations you repeat. Step back from the life that feels acceptable but incomplete. See clearly. Ask yourself uncomfortable questions, not with judgment but with honesty. Are you growing or maintaining? Are you building or preserving? Are you choosing this life or tolerating it? The moment you see the cage, its power weakens, because awareness introduces tension. That tension you feel now is not a problem. It is the beginning of change. Comfort wants you to relieve it quickly, to return to familiar thoughts, to distract yourself, to rationalize staying where you are. Do not rush to relieve it, sit with it. This tension is the signal that you are outgrowing your current agreement, that your internal standards are rising, that your old normal no longer fits. Breaking through does not require instant action. It requires a shift in loyalty. You stopped being loyal to comfort. You stop letting familiarity decide your pace. You choose long-term alignment over short-term ease. This choice is quiet at first. No one may notice. Nothing dramatic may happen. But internally, something changes. You begin to tolerate discomfort without retreating. You allow uncertainty without collapsing. You delay relief in service of direction. You act even when comfort disagrees. This is delayed gratification in its highest form. Not delaying reward for discipline alone, but delaying comfort for transformation. Most people avoid this moment. You are not most people. You are here because part of you already knows that staying comfortable is costing you something deeper, something essential. That awareness does not go away. And as this chapter closes, feel the pressure build, because once you see the cage clearly, remaining inside it becomes a conscious choice. And soon, you will have to decide whether comfort continues to lead or whether you do. Chapter 3. ignoring reality without losing your mind. Ignoring reality does not mean escaping it. It means refusing to be ruled by it. This distinction matters more than you realize. Many people misunderstand this concept. They hear the idea of ignoring reality and assume it means fantasy, denial, or reckless imagination. They picture someone pretending problems do not exist, hoping outcomes appear without effort. That is not strength, that is avoidance. And avoidance always collapses under pressure. What you are learning here is different. Detachment is strength. Denial is weakness. Denial says nothing is wrong. Detachment says nothing controls me. You can acknowledge facts without bowing to them. You can see obstacles without letting them decide your future. You can recognize limitations without allowing them to define your identity. Reality presents information, it does not issue commands. Most people confuse the two. They look at current circumstances and treat them as final truth. They let numbers, timelines, opinions, and past experiences tell them what is possible. Over time, this habit trains the mind to react instead of lead. You stop choosing direction and start negotiating with conditions. This is where clarity is lost. Ignoring reality properly begins with focus, not scattered attention, not emotional reaction. Focus as discipline, focus as decision, focus as the ability to hold one image steady while everything around you shifts. Imagine your vision as a compass in a storm. The wind is loud, the waves are violent, the sky offers no comfort. If you stare at the storm, panic takes over. If you chase every movement, you lose direction. But if you lock your attention on the compass, something remarkable happens. You move forward even while chaos surrounds you. The storm does not stop. You do not need it to. This is disciplined belief. Disciplined belief does not argue with reality. It simply outlasts it. It does not need constant reassurance. It does not collapse when evidence is delayed. It holds its position calmly, steadily, until the external world adjusts. This is where emotional maturity is required. At first, tension rises. Your mind will demand proof. It will ask for confirmation. It will search for signs that you are not making a mistake. This is natural. The mind has been trained to rely on external validation. Do not punish it, train it, bring your attention back, again and again, to the direction you chose, to the image you decided to hold, to the version of yourself you are becoming. Focus, not aggressively, not anxiously, firmly. You will notice moments of doubt. They arrive quietly, they question your timing, they remind you of past failures. They suggest adjusting your vision to something more reasonable. This is the emotional low point. Stay here long enough and something shifts. You realize that doubt does not require action, that discomfort does not require retreat, that uncertainty is not a signal to stop, but a signal that growth is underway. Relief follows, not because circumstances change, but because you stop needing them to. Your nervous system begins to settle. You realize you can carry uncertainty without losing yourself. You can move without guarantees. You can trust direction without evidence. This is power. Most people never experience it because they abandon focus too early. They look away from the compass to check the storm. They ask others what they see. They dilute their belief with too many opinions. You will not do that. You will learn to hold the image. Hold it when progress is slow. Hold it when results lag behind effort. Hold it when others do not understand. This is not stubbornness. This is leadership. Leadership begins internally, with the ability to remain centered while reality negotiates. When you stop reacting, the world starts responding. This does not happen instantly. It happens inevitably. The emotional rhythm continues. Calm returns, then tension builds again. Each cycle strengthens you. Each repetition installs confidence deeper into your system. You stop seeking certainty outside. You start generating it inside. This is how disciplined belief becomes identity. You are no longer imagining a future. You are preparing to meet it. Your actions align. Your decisions sharpen. Your focus narrows. Distractions lose power because they no longer compete with your direction. Focus. Hold the image. As this chapter closes, feel the steadiness forming. The storm has not ended. It does not need to. You are learning to move through it with clarity, aware that something inside you has stabilized. And once that center holds, reality will have no choice but to reorganize around it. Chapter 4. The identity shift that changes. Everything changes. Everything changes the moment you understand this. You do not get what you want. You get who you are, not who you hope to be, not who you talk about becoming, who you operate as consistently when no one is watching. This realization is quiet, but it is absolute. Most people chase outcomes. They chase money, recognition, freedom, success, confidence. They focus on results, as if results are rewards handed out by the world. As if life is a system that gives prizes to those who want them badly enough. That belief keeps people exhausted, because wanting is not becoming. Outcomes sit at the end of a long chain. Identity sits at the beginning. And no matter how much effort you apply, the chain always pulls you back to who you are being, not what you are chasing. This is why effort alone does not work. This is why motivation fades. This is why progress feels unstable. You cannot outperform your identity for long. At some point, your habits, your decisions, your standards, and your emotional patterns reassert control. They pull you back to familiar ground, back to what feels normal, back to who you believe you are allowed to be. This is not failure. It is alignment. Life keeps aligning you with your current identity, so the real work begins here, not with action, with definition. You begin to ask a different question. Not what do I want, but who must I become for this life to be inevitable? That question changes everything, because it shifts your attention from chasing to installing, from hoping to embodying, from reacting to leading. Identity is not a label. It is a pattern. It is how you think under pressure, how you speak to yourself in silence, how you act when motivation is absent, how you choose when comfort and growth are in conflict. Your current identity was built over time, through repetition, through reinforcement, through emotional reward and punishment. It was shaped by what you were praised for, what you were corrected for, and what you learned to avoid. It kept you functioning, it kept you safe, but it may no longer fit. That tension you feel now is not confusion, it is misalignment. Part of you has outgrown the identity that brought you this far, and growth demands replacement, not improvement. You are becoming someone different. Say it internally. Let it settle. You are becoming someone different. At first, this feels uncomfortable. Identity change always does, because your old self will resist. Not aggressively, subtly. It will remind you of past behavior, of past limits, of what feels natural. It will ask, who do you think you are? Do not argue with that voice. Outgrow it. Identity does not change through debate. It changes through repetition, through acting as the person you are becoming before it feels natural. This is where most people stop. They wait for confidence to arrive before acting confidently. They wait for discipline to appear before acting disciplined. They wait for certainty before making decisive moves. But confidence follows action. Discipline follows structure. Certainty follows structure. Certainty follows commitment. You reverse the order. You begin acting as the person who wins, even while the old identity is still speaking. You install new standards, even while the old habits are still present. You choose differently, even when it feels unfamiliar. This is the shift. You stop asking, will this work? You start asking, is this who I am now? That question simplifies everything. When decisions are filtered through identity, hesitation fades. You do not negotiate with yourself as much. You do not seek external validation. You do not require constant motivation. You act because it aligns. This is how leaders are formed. Leadership is not a title, it is internal consistency, the ability to behave in alignment with chosen identity regardless of mood, circumstance, or audience. You are becoming someone who leads themselves. Notice the emotional rhythm here. Calm as clarity settles in, then tension as the old self resists, then command as you choose anyway, then relief as alignment replaces conflict. This cycle repeats. Each repetition strengthens the new identity. Each aligned action makes the next one easier. Not because the work becomes easier, but because resistance weakens. You are becoming someone different. This is not an affirmation. It is a process. You begin to notice subtle changes. How you speak internally, how you respond to setbacks, how quickly you recover from doubt, how you choose structure over impulse. These changes are quiet. Others may not notice yet. That is good. Identity transformation is strongest when it is private, when it is reinforced internally before it is recognized externally, when you do not perform growth but embody it. Silence protects this phase. You no longer need to announce goals. You no longer need approval. You no longer need reassurance. You are installing something deeper. You are deciding who you become. Say it clearly. I decide who I become. This decision carries weight. It removes excuses. It removes negotiation. It removes the option of returning fully to the old self. You may visit old habits. You may feel old doubts, but you do not live there anymore, because identity is directional. Once you decide who you are becoming, every action either aligns or misaligns, and misalignment becomes uncomfortable. Not because you are forcing change, but because your standards have risen. This is the point of no return, not dramatic, but decisive. You no longer chase outcomes for validation. You build identity for alignment, and outcomes begin to follow naturally, quietly, almost inevitably. You stop asking life for permission. You stop waiting for readiness. You move because it is who you are now. This does not mean perfection. It means consistency. It means returning to alignment quickly. It means choosing growth even when the old self is loud. You are becoming someone different with every disciplined choice, with every moment you hold your focus, with every time you act without external approval. The world has not changed yet. It will, but first you must finish this installation. As this chapter closes, feel the internal shift stabilizing. You are no longer chasing the future. You are stepping into it, calm, deliberate, certain that who you are becoming will make everything else inevitable. Chapter 5. Silence, secrecy, and inner power does not announce itself. It accumulates. Quietly, patiently, out of sight. This is one of the hardest truths to accept in a world that rewards visibility. You are surrounded by noise. The louder the declaration, the weaker the foundation beneath it. Loud goals are weak goals. Not because ambition is wrong, but because ambition is wrong, but because exposure drains momentum. Every time you announce a plan too early, you convert potential energy into social energy. You receive approval, encouragement, or resistance, and your nervous system interprets that response as progress. But nothing has been built yet. Silence protects energy. Secrecy preserves direction. Most people misunderstand this. They think silence is fear. They think secrecy is insecurity. They assume that confidence must be visible, vocal, and validated. In reality, true confidence is contained. It does not need witnesses. Think of power charging underground. You do not see it forming. You do not hear it growing. But when it emerges, it changes the landscape. This is how inner power develops. When you move in silence, you remove interference. You stop inviting opinions that dilute clarity. You stop negotiating your vision with people who are not living it. You stop explaining yourself to those who do not share your direction. Silence is not hiding. It is focusing. There is a phase of growth that requires privacy, not because you doubt yourself, but because you respect the process enough to protect it. Early momentum is fragile. It needs structure, not attention, discipline, not applause. Every time you speak of goal aloud, something subtle happens. Your brain receives a sense of completion. The emotional reward arrives early. Motivation leaks. Urgency softens. The internal pressure that drives execution fades just enough to slow you down. This is not weakness, it is biology. The mind responds to recognition. It cannot easily distinguish between being praised for intention and being rewarded for execution, so it relaxes. Silence keeps pressure intact. Pressure is not stress. Pressure is direction. It is the internal weight that keeps you moving forward when comfort suggests stopping. It sharpens focus. It eliminates excess. It forces consistency. When you stay quiet, pressure stays concentrated. This is why disciplined individuals speak less about what they are building. They are not secretive by habit. They are strategic by instinct. They understand that words carry energy, and energy must be conserved. Emotional restraint becomes confidence over time. At first, staying silent feels uncomfortable. You want to share. You want acknowledgement. You want to be seen. This is natural. Humans are social. But growth requires selective expression. Not everyone deserves access to what you are becoming. When you speak too early, you expose unfinished work. You invite feedback before clarity has stabilized. You allow others' doubts to enter your internal space. Even encouragement can become a distraction, pulling your attention outward instead of inward. Silence solves this. It creates a sealed environment, a controlled space where habits form without commentary, where discipline grows without performance, where identity solidifies without pressure to impress. You begin to move differently. Your actions become quieter. Your focus becomes sharper. Your confidence becomes less reactive. You no longer need to convince anyone. You no longer need agreement. This is inner power. Inner power does not rush. It does not explain. It does not perform. It accumulates through consistency, through restraint, through deliberate movement. Move deliberately. Deliberate movement is slow enough to be precise and fast enough to be unstoppable. It is action guided by clarity, not emotion. It is progress measured internally, not socially. Most people measure progress by response, likes, praise, attention, approval. When those signals disappear, motivation collapses. You are learning a different system. You measure progress by alignment, by whether your actions match your chosen identity, by whether you are showing up as the person you decided to become, regardless of recognition. This shift changes how you relate to time. You stop rushing to be seen. You stop forcing outcomes. You trust accumulation. Silence gives you space to notice subtle improvements, stronger habits, faster recovery from doubt, cleaner decision-making, increased tolerance for discomfort. These are signs of real growth. They do not announce themselves. They show up when needed. There is also a deeper reason. Silence matters. When you speak less, you hear more. You become aware of your internal dialogue. You notice patterns. You catch excuses earlier. You recognize when you are negotiating with yourself. This awareness sharpens self-leadership. Noise hides weakness. Silence exposes it. And exposure allows correction. This is why silence feels challenging at first. It removes distraction. It forces you to face inconsistencies. But once you adjust, it becomes stabilizing. Confidence grows from this stability, not loud confidence, grounded confidence, the kind that does not spike and crash, the kind that does not depend on mood. You begin to trust yourself. Trust comes from keeping promises to yourself privately, from doing what you said you would do without witnesses, from acting correctly even when no one is watching. This is where power roots itself. Stay quiet, not as avoidance, but as discipline. Let your actions speak later. Let results emerge without explanation. Let momentum build until it becomes undeniable. There will be moments when you feel tempted to announce progress, to seek validation, to test how others react. Recognize these moments for what they are. They are pressure-seeking release. Do not release it prematurely. Pressure creates diamonds only when it is sustained. As you continue moving deliberately, you may notice others becoming curious. They sense change. They feel a difference. They ask questions. This is where restraint matters most. You do not owe access. You do not owe explanation. You owe yourself consistency. Silence protects consistency. Over time, something shifts internally. You stop feeling the need to speak. You become comfortable with being underestimated. You realize that anonymity during construction is an advantage. No interference, no expectations, no pressure to perform, just work. And that work compounds. The underground charge strengthens. When it finally surfaces, it does not ask for attention, it commands respect. Not through force, but through presence. This is the paradox of inner power. The quieter you become, the stronger you feel. The less you announce, the more certain you grow. The less you seek approval, the more independent your confidence becomes. This is not isolation, it is integration. You are aligning internally before engaging externally. This chapter marks a turning point. You are no longer building in public, you are building in truth. Your focus narrows, your standards rise, your movement becomes intentional. You are no longer interested in appearing powerful. You are becoming powerful. Stay quiet, move deliberately, and as this chapter closes, feel the energy contained within you, pressurized, directed, ready, not yet visible, but undeniably real, waiting for the right moment to emerge. Chapter 6. Discipline beats motivation. Every time motivation feels powerful. But it is unreliable. It arrives in waves. It leaves without warning. Discipline stays. This is the shift that separates those who dream from those who build, those who wait from those who move, those who start from those who finish. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. Motivation depends on mood, energy, inspiration, and timing. Discipline depends on decision. One rises and falls, the other stands. Most people wait to feel ready. They wait for clarity, excitement, or confidence before they act. When motivation is high, they move fast. When it fades, they slow down. Progress becomes inconsistent. Identity becomes unstable. This cycle feels productive at first. It feels human. It feels understandable. That it never produces mastery. Because mastery requires repetition without negotiation. Discipline is the ability to act without emotion, not without feeling, but without permission from feeling. You acknowledge resistance, fatigue, doubt, and boredom, and you act anyway. This is not force. This is leadership. You are not here to feel like doing what matters. You are here to do what matters, regardless of how it feels in the moment. Motivation fades. Systems remain. Systems do not ask how you feel. They do not wait for the right mood. They function because they are installed, because they are non-negotiable, because they run whether you are excited or exhausted. This is what you are building now, a system inside yourself. Discipline is not punishment, it is alignment. It is the structure that allows your chosen identity to express itself consistently. Without discipline, identity collapses under pressure. With discipline, identity becomes stable. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it is harsh, restrictive, joyless, something you endure. That misunderstanding keeps them dependent on motivation. True discipline is liberating. When discipline is installed, decision fatigue disappears. You no longer debate whether to act. You already decided. The question is not, do I feel like it? The question is this what I do now? That clarity brings relief. At first, tension builds. The old self resists. It wants flexibility. It wants exceptions. It wants to negotiate. It argues that rest is needed, that today is different, that tomorrow will be better. Listen carefully. That voice is not protecting you. It is preserving comfort. Delayed gratification is the skill discipline demands most. You choose effort now for alignment later. You choose discomfort now for freedom later. You choose consistency now for authority later. This is not denial of pleasure, it is sequencing. Most people reverse the sequence. They seek comfort first and hope progress follows. It never does. Comfort consumes momentum. Discipline directs it. You begin training yourself in small, precise ways. You show up when it is inconvenient. You complete tasks when enthusiasm is absent. You maintain standards when no one is watching. Each time you do this, something internal shifts. You trust yourself more. Trust does not come from intention. It comes from evidence, from seeing yourself act correctly under pressure, from proving repeatedly that your word to yourself matters. This is identity reinforcement. You are becoming someone who does not rely on motivation. Say it internally, let it land. You are becoming someone who does not rely on motivation. The emotional rhythm continues. Calm as the decision is made. Tension as resistance appears. Command as you act anyway. Relief as alignment restores order. Empowerment as confidence deepens. Again. Each cycle strengthens discipline. You begin to notice a difference in how you experience difficulty. Tasks do not feel heavier, they feel clearer. Resistance no longer surprises you, it is expected, planned for, neutralized by routine. This is why systems matter. A system removes emotion from execution. It turns action into behavior, behavior into habit, habit into identity. You are not forcing yourself every day. You are training yourself. Training is patient. Training is repetitive. Training is repetitive. Training respects process. Motivation wants intensity. Discipline wants consistency. Consistency wins. There will be days when motivation appears. Enjoy them. Use the energy, but do not depend on them. Dependence creates fragility. Discipline creates resilience. Resilience is quiet power. You do not panic when things feel hard. You do not stall when excitement fades. You do not need external encouragement. You move because movement is who you are now. This is the installation phase. Discipline becomes non-negotiable, not extreme, not obsessive, reliable. You stop bargaining with yourself. You stop asking for special treatment. You stop making exceptions that slowly erode standards. Standards protect direction. When standards are clear, decisions become simple. When decisions are simple, energy is conserved. When energy is conserved, progress accelerates. This is how disciplined people move faster without rushing. They do not sprint emotionally. They walk steadily, and steady movement compounds. At first, the results may feel invisible. Discipline often works in silence. You do not receive immediate reward. You do not receive applause. You receive alignment. That must be enough. Delayed gratification tests patience. It asks you to trust accumulation, to believe that small, correct actions repeated daily produce exponential results. They do, but only if you stay consistent when motivation is gone. Do it anyway. Say it when resistance appears. Say it when boredom sets in. Say it when the old self suggests delay. Do it anyway, then do it again. Again. This repetition is not mechanical, it is meaningful. Each repetition strengthens the neural pathway. Each repetition reduces friction. Each repetition brings the behavior closer to automatic. Eventually, discipline stops feeling like effort. It becomes baseline. You no longer feel proud for doing what must be done. You feel uncomfortable when you do not. This is the true shift, when discipline moves from achievement to expectation. This is maturity. Mature power does not rely on peaks. It relies on stability. It is present on ordinary days. It functions when no one is impressed. It holds when pressure increases. You are building that now. There will be moments when you fail to meet your own standards. This does not undo discipline. What matters is response time. How quickly you return to alignment, how little drama you create, how calmly you reset. Discipline is not perfection, it is recovery speed. You recover faster because identity has shifted. You recover faster because identity has shifted. You no longer ask whether to return. You simply do, again. Each return reinforces trust. Each correction strengthens authority. Each disciplined response deepens leadership over self. This is self-leadership. You are no longer managed by emotion. You are guided by structure. Emotion becomes information, not instruction. This does not make you rigid. It makes you reliable. Reliable to yourself. That reliability is rare. And rare qualities create rare outcomes. As discipline installs, motivation becomes optional, nice but unnecessary, helpful but not required. You move regardless. This is freedom. Freedom is not doing whatever you feel like. Freedom is doing what aligns with your highest decision without internal conflict. That conflict fades as discipline solidifies. You feel calmer, more grounded, more capable, not because life became easier, but because you became stable. This stability is power. You do not chase intensity. You do not fear monotony. You understand that greatness is built through ordinary actions done extraordinarily well, repeatedly without applause. Discipline is the quiet agreement you keep with your future self, and your future self is watching. Each time you act anyway, you close the distance between who you are and who you are becoming. Each time you repeat the correct behavior, you reduce the need for effort. Each time you return without drama, you strengthen identity. This chapter is not inspiration. It is installation. You are installing a system that does not depend on feeling good, a structure that does not collapse under pressure, an identity that does not negotiate with comfort. Motivation fades. Systems remain. You are building a system inside yourself. Do it anyway. Again, as this chapter closes, feel the steadiness settling in. Not excitement, not urgency, stability, the kind that carries you forward quietly, relentlessly, aware that from this point on, you no longer wait to feel ready. You move because movement is who you are now. Chapter 7. Transformation Peak. The break point. This is where it tightens. You feel it now. The pressure is no longer theoretical. It is no longer distant. It has moved from concept into experience. What you are facing here is not external resistance. It is internal exposure. Pressure reveals who you really are, not who you claim to be, not who you plan to become, who you default to when discomfort removes choice. Up to this point, growth has felt intentional. You decided, you structured, you disciplined yourself. Now, pressure enters to test what was installed. This is the break point. Every serious transformation has one. A moment where progress demands more than intention, more than understanding, more than desire. It demands identity under stress. This is where most people retreat, not dramatically, quietly. They do not quit, they soften. They loosen standards. They delay one action then another. They begin explaining instead of executing. They call it balance. They call it pacing. They call it being smart. It is sabotage, not conscious, protective. Your system senses threat. Growth threatens comfort. Discipline threatens familiarity. Identity change threatens the old equilibrium. So resistance escalates, doubt sharpens its voice, fatigue exaggerates itself, distractions feel urgent. You begin hearing thoughts you outgrew, maybe later, maybe not now, maybe this is too much. This is not regression, this is confirmation. Pressure always exposes what still needs to be strengthened. Do not panic. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through. The break point feels personal because it attacks identity. It questions whether you really meant what you decided earlier. It tests whether discipline holds when emotion pulls in the opposite direction. It asks whether silence remains when expression would bring relief. This is the line. Everything before this point was preparation. Everything after depends on how you move through this moment. Most people mistake pressure as a signal to stop. It is the opposite. Pressure is proof that you are close to a threshold, that old structures are weakening, that internal hierarchy is shifting. Your old self is loud now because it senses replacement. That self will use familiar tactics. It will bring up history, past failures, inconsistencies. It will remind you of moments when you did not follow through. It will question your authority to change. It will sound convincing, it always does, but listen carefully. That voice has no future vision. It only references the past. It does not know who you are becoming. It only knows who you were. You do not need to defeat it. You need to outlast it. Pressure reveals truth because it removes performance. There is no audience here, no recognition, no excitement, just you, the work, and resistance. This is where integrity is built. Integrity is not morality, it is internal alignment under stress. Can you act when no one is impressed? Can you continue when comfort is gone? Can you stay focused when doubt is loud? This is the test, and it is meant to feel intense. Your nervous system is adjusting to a higher standard. It is learning that discomfort does not equal danger, that resistance does not require retreat, that pressure can be carried. This learning happens only through experience. You cannot think your way through this. You must move through it. Keep going, not with panic, with precision. Pressure invites urgency. Discipline responds with control. You do not rush. You do not freeze. You execute the next correct action. That is all. One step, then another. Don't stop. Stopping feels tempting because it promises relief. But relief without alignment is regression. It feels good briefly and costs you later. You're learning to delay relief for authority. Authority over self. This is the moment where emotional intelligence becomes physical behavior, where understanding becomes embodiment. Your breath steadies, your movements simplify, your focus narrows. You are no longer thinking about the whole path, only the next step. This is how pressure is survived. This is also how pressure is used. Used correctly, pressure compresses identity. It removes excess. It burns away performance. What remains is core behavior. That behavior becomes permanent. Most people never allow this compression. They escape before it finishes. They relieve pressure prematurely. They never discover who they are under load. You are staying. That choice alone separates you. This is the line. Crossing it does not feel heroic. It feels quiet. It feels stubborn. It feels like choosing again without emotional reward. That is why it works. High performers are not driven by constant inspiration. They are shaped by moments like this. Moments when no one is watching and quitting would be easy. They choose not to. Not because they are stronger, because they are clearer. Clarity replaces motivation here. You know why you are doing this. You know who you are becoming. You know what returning to the old pattern would cost. That knowledge anchors you. Still, pressure intensifies. Your body resists. Your mind negotiates. Your attention fragments. This is where internal sabotage appears. Sabotage rarely looks like destruction. It looks like distraction, like busy work, like emotional reasoning, like convincing yourself that now is not the right time. Notice it. Do not shame it. Observe it. Observation weakens its grip. You return to structure, to routine, to discipline. You do not seek emotional relief. You seek alignment. Again, each return strengthens you. Again, each return strengthens you. Again, pressure begins to lose its edge. Not because it disappears, but because you are no longer shocked by it. You expected it. You planned for it. You understand its role. Pressure is not punishment. It is refinement. The emotional rhythm shifts. Intensity peaks, then steadies. You realize something important. You are still here, despite doubt, despite fatigue, despite discomfort. This realization builds confidence deeper than excitement ever could. Confidence born under pressure does not fade easily. You begin to trust yourself in a new way. Not because you feel strong, but because you behaved correctly when strength was absent. That trust changes how you relate to future challenges. You no longer fear hard moments. You recognize them as thresholds. You know that resistance signals growth, not failure. This understanding rewires your response. Instead of asking, "Why is this hard?" you ask, "What is this strengthening?" This question shifts power back to you. Pressure no longer controls you. You interpret it. Interpretation determines response. Response determines outcome. This is leadership over self. And leadership is forged here, not in comfort. The breakpoint marks the end of negotiation. You are no longer deciding whether to continue. That decision was already made. Now you are executing it under load. This is where identity locks in. Not because you say it, but because you live it. Keep going. The words are simple, but the meaning is heavy. Keep going means remain aligned, even when it costs. It means continue, even when progress is not visible. It means trust the process you chose earlier. Don't stop. Stopping resets the system. It gives the old self evidence that pressure wins, that comfort still has authority, that discipline is conditional. You do not give it that evidence. You move forward, even slowly, even imperfectly. Movement matters more than speed here. This is the line. Crossing it does not bring fireworks. It brings stillness, a calm that follows intensity, a grounded certainty that replaces chaos. You feel it settling now. Your breathing evens out. Your thoughts simplify. Your urgency becomes controlled. This is relief. Not relief from work, but relief from internal conflict. You are no longer arguing with yourself. You are acting in alignment. That alignment feels clean. Empowerment follows, not loud, not emotional, stable. You realize the pressure did not break you. It revealed you. It showed you that you can hold discomfort without collapsing, that you can continue without reassurance. that you can trust your systems. This realization stays. The next time pressure comes, it will not surprise you. The next breakpoint will feel familiar. You will recognize the pattern. You will know what to do. That is how strength compounds. This chapter marks the first major transformation peak. Not because you arrived somewhere, but because you passed through something. You did not escape pressure. You integrated it. You are different now, not dramatically, fundamentally. As this chapter closes, feel the tension easing but not disappearing. Pressure remains part of the path. The difference is that it no longer intimidates you. You know this feeling now. You know this place, and you know that when it returns, you will not stop. Keep going. Don't stop. This is the line. And you have crossed it. Chapter 8. Controlling focus in a distracted world. Focus is no longer a skill. It is power. In the world you live in now, attention is constantly pulled, fractured, interrupted, redirected, not accidentally, deliberately. Systems are designed to fragment your concentration, to keep your mind reactive, to prevent depth from forming. A distracted person is easy to influence. A focused person is dangerous. This chapter is about reclaiming that danger, not aggression, not force, precision. Most people believe distraction is a personal weakness, a lack of discipline, a flaw in character. That belief keeps them blaming themselves, while the real mechanism stays invisible. Distraction is a tool, used against time, against clarity, against leadership. Every notification, every interruption, every unnecessary demand competes for the same limited resource, your attention. And whoever controls your attention controls your direction. When attention is scattered, identity weakens, decisions slow, standards soften, urgency dissolves. You begin reacting instead of choosing. This is not accidental. A distracted mind cannot build anything meaningful. It cannot hold long-term vision. It cannot tolerate delayed gratification. It cannot remain steady under pressure, which means it cannot lead. Focus is modern power because it is rare, and rarity creates advantage. You have already felt the cost of distraction, the half-finished tasks, the constant mental noise, the sense of being busy without moving forward, the fatigue that comes not from effort, but from fragmentation. This is where focus must be reclaimed deliberately, not casually, not passively, intentionally. Focus is not concentration alone, it is selection. The ability to decide what matters now and ignore everything else without guilt. Ignoring is a skill. You must relearn it. At first, tension rises. Cutting distractions feels uncomfortable. Silence feels unfamiliar. The mind seeks stimulation. It looks for relief. It wants to escape depth because depth demands presence. Stay here. This discomfort is not a problem. It is withdrawal. Your system has been trained to expect constant input. Removing it exposes restlessness. Do not interpret restlessness as incapacity. It is adjustment. You are training your attention to return to you. Focus rituals begin here. A ritual is not dramatic. It is consistent. It signals to your nervous system that it is time to lock in. Same place, same posture, same sequence. Over time, the body learns to enter focus automatically. This removes friction. Most people wait to feel focused. High performers trigger focus. You create conditions where distraction has no oxygen, where attention has one direction, where time compresses because depth replaces speed. Depth changes everything. When you focus deeply, minutes stretch. Clarity sharpens. The mind stops jumping. You begin to see patterns. Solutions appear without force. Effort feels cleaner. This is why focus feels powerful. It is not frantic. It is calm. Calm is not weakness. Calm is not weakness. Calm is control. Distraction thrives on urgency. It convinces you that everything matters now, that every input deserves response, that silence equals neglect. This is a lie. Most things do not matter. Most inputs are noise. Noise drains leadership. Cut noise, not emotionally, strategically. You decide what earns access to your attention. You stop reacting to every signal. You create boundaries not to isolate yourself, but to protect direction. Boundaries are leadership tools. When boundaries are weak, focus collapses. When focus collapses, discipline erodes. When discipline erodes, identity destabilizes. This is why focus must be defended, not once, daily. Distraction will return. It adapts, it disguises itself as productivity, as obligation, as urgency, as responsibility. You must see through it. Ask one question consistently. Does this move me in the direction I chose? If not, it waits. This question simplifies life. At first, enforcing it feels harsh. You feel resistance. You feel the pull of old habits. You feel the fear of missing something. Let that fear pass. Missing noise is not loss. It is gain. You are not here to consume everything. You are here to build something. Building requires focus. The emotional rhythm continues. Calm as you establish boundaries. Tension as distractions push back. Command as you say no without explanation. Relief as mental space opens. Empowerment as clarity deepens. Repeat. Each repetition strengthens focus. You begin to notice changes. Your thinking becomes cleaner, your decisions faster, your execution sharper. You recover attention more quickly when interrupted. You no longer spiral when focus breaks. You simply return. Returning is the skill. Focus is not never being distracted. It is returning faster each time. This removes frustration. You stop judging yourself for losing focus. You treat attention like a muscle. You train it patiently, repeatedly, without drama. This is how mastery forms. Lock in. Locking in does not mean intensity all day. It means depth at the right moments. You choose blocks of time when nothing else exists. No multitasking, no checking, no switching. During these moments, you become unreachable. Not permanently, purposefully. These blocks create momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence stabilizes identity. You stop feeling behind. You start feeling directed. Direction reduces anxiety. Most anxiety is not fear. It is overload. Too many inputs, too many unfinished loops, too much noise. Focus closes loops. Each completed task releases energy. Each clear decision removes mental weight. Each focused session restores trust in yourself. This trust compounds. You begin to believe in your ability to direct your life, not emotionally but structurally. You see that when focus is present, progress follows. This reinforces discipline. Discipline becomes easier when focus is protected. Focus becomes easier when boundaries are respected. Boundaries become easier when identity is clear. Everything connects. This is why distraction is so dangerous. It does not just steal time, it steals coherence. Coherence is the state where your thoughts, actions, and direction align. It is the foundation of leadership. Without it, effort scatters. With it, effort multiplies. You are rebuilding coherence now. There will be moments when the world feels louder, when demands increase, when distractions intensify. This is not coincidence, it is response. When you become more focused, resistance increases. Do not interpret resistance as failure, it is recognition. Systems push back when control is reclaimed. Stay steady, return to your rituals, simplify your inputs, reduce decision clutter. Eliminate unnecessary choices. Wear down distraction through consistency. You are not fighting distraction, you are starving it. Starvation is slow, but effective. Over time, your attention becomes less reactive. You feel less compelled to respond immediately. You pause before engaging. You choose. Choice is power. You stop feeling hijacked by the environment. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop explaining why focus is hard. You simply practice it. Lock in. Locking in is not aggression. It is commitment to the work. Commitment to direction. Commitment to who you are becoming. As focus stabilizes, time changes. You stop feeling rushed. You stop feeling scattered. You feel present. Presence is rare, and rare states produce rare outcomes. From presence comes insight. From insight comes strategy. from strategy comes execution. This is leadership from the inside out. You are not chasing productivity. You are cultivating depth. Depth outperforms speed. Depth creates leverage. Leverage changes scale. You do not need to do more. You need to attend better. This chapter marks a shift in how you relate to attention. You are no longer a passive receiver. You are an active selector. What you allow in, what you keep out, what you engage deeply, these choices shape your future. Cut noise. Say it internally when distraction pulls. Say it without anger, without frustration, as instruction. Cut noise. Lock in. Say it when you begin focused work. Let it signal transition. Let it anchor you. Lock in. As this chapter closes, feel the mental space opening. Not emptiness, but clarity. Not isolation, but control. You are no longer overwhelmed by inputs. You are directing them. Focus has returned to you, and with it, power. Chapter 9. Becoming dangerous through consistency. Intensity looks impressive. Consistency changes everything. Most people are addicted to intensity. They wait for the surge, the emotional high, the moment when energy spikes and everything feels possible. They confuse that feeling with progress. They believe that if they can just feel motivated enough, focused enough, inspired enough, results will follow. They are wrong. Intensity burns fast. Consistency builds power. Power that lasts. Power that compounds. Power that becomes dangerous. Dangerous not because it is loud or aggressive, but because it is reliable. Consistency compounds identity. Every repeated action is a vote, not for what you want, but for who you are becoming. One action means little. Repeated actions become evidence. Evidence reshapes self-trust. Self-trust reshapes behavior. Behavior reshapes outcomes. This is how transformation naturally happens, quietly, incrementally, relentlessly. You stop chasing peak moments and start respecting daily execution. You stop trying to overwhelm obstacles with force and start wearing them down with repetition. You stop asking for breakthrough days and start stacking ordinary ones. This shift feels subtle, but it is profound, because consistency removes drama. Drama feeds ego. Consistency feeds progress. Drama feeds ego. Consistency feeds progress. At first, repetition feels boring. It lacks excitement. It offers no applause. The mind resists it because repetition does not stimulate emotion. It demands patience. It demands humility. It asks you to show up even when nothing feels urgent. This is where most people abandon the process. They say they want results, but they crave stimulation. They want growth, but they avoid monotony. They want change, but only if it feels exciting. Consistency does not negotiate with preference. It asks one question only. Did you show up again? That word is simple, but it is heavy. Again means today counts just as much as yesterday. Again means the work is done without needing novelty. Again means you repeat the correct action even when progress is invisible. Again is how momentum forms. Momentum is misunderstood. People think momentum comes from speed. It does not. It comes from direction held over time. Speed fluctuates. Direction compounds. You are learning to become dangerous through this compounding. Dangerous because you are no longer dependent on mood. Dangerous because you no longer require excitement. Dangerous because your progress does not collapse when conditions are ordinary. You rise through repetition. Say it internally, I rise. This is not a surge upward. It is an elevation over time, a slow ascent that becomes impossible to stop once established. Consistency turns small actions into force. A single drop of water does nothing. Repeated drops carve stone. Not through strength, but through persistence. You're becoming that persistence. The emotional rhythm continues. Calm as repetition settles in. Tension as boredom tests commitment. Command as you act anyway. Relief as alignment restores confidence. Empowerment as momentum becomes undeniable. Repeat. Each cycle strengthens identity. You begin to trust yourself not because you feel capable, but because you are consistent. You stop measuring progress by emotion and start measuring it by behavior. You see evidence accumulating. Evidence is powerful. Evidence silences doubt faster than motivation ever could. Doubt survives in inconsistency. It feeds on gaps. It thrives when effort is sporadic. Consistency starves it. When you show up again and again, doubt loses credibility. It has nothing to argue with. The proof is in your behavior. This is why consistency is dangerous. It removes internal opposition. Your mind stops debating whether you are serious. Your nervous system stops questioning whether you will follow through. Everything aligns around the expectation that you will act. Expectation simplifies action. When action is expected, resistance weakens. You no longer need to convince yourself each day. You simply do what is normal for you now. This is identity consolidation. You are no longer trying to change. You are reinforcing who you are. Most people fail here because they underestimate small actions. They want results that feel proportional to effort. They want visible payoff quickly. Consistency asks you to trust asymmetry. Small actions produce large outcomes when repeated long enough. This is uncomfortable for a mind trained on immediacy. But you are no longer ruled by immediacy. You are ruled by direction. Direction outlasts emotion. You embrace repetition not because it is exciting, but because it is exciting, but because it is effective. You begin to find satisfaction in completion rather than stimulation. You learn to appreciate the quiet confidence that comes from doing what you said you would do. That confidence is different. It does not spike. It does not fade. It stabilizes. Stability is power. Power that does not need to announce itself. Power that does not react to setbacks dramatically. Power that continues moving even when nothing feels extraordinary. This is how dangerous individuals are formed, not through intensity, through inevitability. When consistency is established, progress becomes inevitable. Not because every day is perfect, but because deviation becomes rare and short-lived. You recover faster. Missed days do not turn into missed weeks. Mistakes do not become spirals. You correct quickly because identity is clear. This is maturity. Maturity understands that perfection is not required. Return is. Return is consistency's partner. Each time you return, you strengthen the habit of alignment. Each return teaches your system that setbacks do not end the process. They are absorbed by it. This resilience compounds. You stop fearing disruption. You stop catastrophizing errors. You move forward with less emotional weight. This makes you dangerous in a world that overreacts. While others burn out, you continue. While others restart, you resume. While others chase novelty, you deepen mastery. Mastery is built here. Mastery is not talent. It is tolerance for repetition. You are increasing that tolerance. At first, repetition feels mechanical. Then it becomes familiar. Then it becomes automatic. Eventually, it becomes automatic. Eventually, it becomes identity. You no longer feel proud of showing up. You feel uncomfortable when you do not. This is the signal that consistency has installed itself. This installation changes how you relate to goals. Goals become reference points, not emotional drivers. They guide direction, but they do not dictate behavior. Behavior is dictated by identity now. Identity says, "This is what I do." And so you do it. Again, you begin to see how small actions stack, how marginal gains accumulate, how slight improvements in execution produce noticeable differences over time. This reinforces patience. Patience is not passive, it is disciplined waiting. Waiting while acting, waiting while building. You trust the process because you are inside it, not observing it from the outside. Others may not notice your progress yet. That is expected. Consistency works below the surface before it becomes visible. Roots grow before trees rise. You are building roots. Strong roots do not rush. They expand steadily. They anchor deeply. When growth accelerates later, it does not collapse. This is why consistency creates stability under success. Many people cannot handle progress because they built it on intensity. When intensity fades, everything falls apart. You are building something that holds. This holding capacity matters. As momentum builds, opportunities will appear, pressure will increase, demands will grow. Consistency prepares you for that. You will not panic. You will not rush. You will not abandon structure. You will respond the same way you always do. Again, consistency removes surprise from success. Success becomes another environment to navigate, not an emotional event to manage. This is leadership. Leadership is predictability under pressure. The ability to produce correct behavior regardless of circumstances, the reliability that others can depend on. You are developing that reliability, not for others first, for yourself. Self-reliability changes everything. When you trust yourself to show up, anxiety decreases. When anxiety decreases, focus improves. When focus improves, execution sharpens. This creates a reinforcing loop. Consistency feeds clarity. Clarity feeds confidence. Confidence feeds consistency. The loop strengthens over time. You begin to feel dangerous in a quiet way, not arrogant, not aggressive, certain that you will continue, certain that you will not quit, certain that you will outlast obstacles. Outlasting is underrated. Most challenges do not require brilliance. They require endurance. They require staying power. They require the willingness to continue when progress feels slow. Consistency gives you that willingness. You stop asking how long it will take. You stop checking constantly for results. You stop negotiating timelines. You focus on today, today's action, today's standard, today's repetition. This simplicity removes pressure. Pressure narrows attention. Consistency widens capacity. You become comfortable with the long game. The long game is where power accumulates. Others may sprint. You walk, and walking carries you farther. This is not complacency, it is strategy. You are not racing anyone. You are building inevitability. You are making progress boring and unstoppable. This is why consistency is dangerous. It does not draw attention early. It does not trigger resistance quickly. It does not provoke comparison. It just keeps working. Over time, the gap widens. Those who relied on intensity slow down. They need recovery. They need remotivation. They need novelty. You continue, the difference becomes obvious, not because you changed suddenly, because you never stopped. You rise. Say it again. I rise. Rising here does not mean sudden elevation. It means sustained ascent, a steady climb that becomes visible only after distance is created. Distance is created by consistency. This chapter marks a deepening of identity. You are no longer trying to be disciplined. You are no longer forcing focus. You are no longer managing motivation. You are repeating alignment. Repetition is no longer boring. It is grounding. It reminds you who you are. It keeps you anchored when external noise increases. Noise does not disrupt you anymore. You are too consistent to be pulled off course easily. This is inner authority. Authority that does not argue. Authority that does not explain. Authority that continues. As consistency compounds, something else happens. Time begins working for you instead of against you. Each day adds weight to your effort. Each week strengthens momentum. Each month solidifies identity. You are no longer starting from zero. You are starting from accumulated effort. Accumulation is powerful. It makes progress feel lighter. It makes challenges feel familiar. It makes challenges feel linear. It makes discipline feel natural. You stop needing to prove anything. You are busy becoming. This is dangerous in the best sense, because once consistency is established, it is difficult to stop you. Not because you are exceptional, but because you are persistent. Persistence beats talent. Persistence beats motivation. Persistence beats distraction. Persistence wins quietly. As this chapter closes, feel the steadiness within you. Not excitement, not urgency. Stability, momentum, the sense that something is moving forward whether you feel it or not. You are no longer chasing intensity. You are building inevitability. You rise, and you will keep rising. One correct action at a time, aware that consistency has made you someone who does not need to rush because you are no longer in danger of stopping. Chapter 10. Transformation Peak 2. No turning back. This is the moment where negotiation ends. Not loudly, not emotionally. Finally, up to now, there was still conversation inside you. Subtle, quiet, but present. a voice that asked for flexibility, a voice that requested exceptions, a voice that wanted reassurance before commitment, that voice no longer legacying with yourself. This is not force, it is clarity. Clarity arrives when repetition, discipline, focus, and consistency compress into certainty. Certainty does not shout, it settles, it removes alternatives, it closes doors gently but permanently. The old self feels this happening and it resists, not with chaos, but with familiarity. It reminds you of who you used to be, of patterns that once defined you, of behaviors that felt natural. It does not attack your goals. It questions your authority to outgrow them. It asks quietly, are you sure? This is the last test, not of strength, of identity. The old self collapses here, not because it is defeated, but because it is no longer relevant. Its arguments no longer persuade. Its fears no longer carry weight. Its comfort no longer feels safe. This collapse is internal. There is no ceremony, no announcement. Just a moment where doubt loses credibility. You notice it when hesitation does not last as long, when excuses sound hollow, when returning to old patterns feels uncomfortable instead of familiar. This is the shift. Certainty replaces doubt. Certainty is not knowing outcomes. It is knowing direction. It is the absence of internal debate, the calm acceptance that this is who you are now, and anything else would be misalignment. Misalignment feels heavier than effort now. This is important. Effort used to feel like the cost. Now compromise does. You no longer ask whether to act. You ask how to act correctly. The decision to move forward is already made. The only remaining task is execution. This is what no turning back feels like. Not intensity, stability. The emotional crescendo does not arrive as chaos. It arrives as silence. The deep internal quiet where conflict used to live. That quiet is power. You feel it in your posture, in your breathing, in the way you approach tasks. You do not rush. You do not stall. You proceed. Proceeding becomes natural. The old self collapses because it cannot survive in an environment where excuses are no longer rewarded internally. It thrived on delay, justification, and emotional negotiation. Those conditions no longer exist. You have changed the internal economy. Now, alignment is rewarded. Consistency is expected, focus is protected, discipline is automatic. This is not rigidity. This is identity coherence. Coherence feels clean. Your thoughts align with your actions align with your standards align with your future. There is no gap. This is what makes turning back impossible. Turning back would require dismantling structure. It would require accepting misalignment. It would require choosing discomfort over clarity. You are no longer willing to do that. Certainty does not mean ease. Challenges remain, pressure continues. Resistance appears in new forms. The difference is response. You do not personalize resistance. You do not dramatize difficulty. You move through it. Stand up. This command is not physical alone. It is internal posture. It is the refusal to shrink under pressure. It is the decision to meet challenge at eye level. Standing up internally changes how you experience the world. You no longer feel beneath circumstances. You feel within them, directing your movement. Focus. Focus here is not effortful. It is selective. You know what matters. You know what does not. Noise no longer competes effectively. Your attention is loyal. This loyalty creates momentum. You rise now. Rising here is not an event. It is a state, a sustained upward movement powered by alignment. You are not waiting to rise later. You are rising through behavior, through consistency, through disciplined action now. This moment is subtle but permanent. From here forward, your standards do not drop easily. Your structure does not dissolve under stress. Your identity does not fragment when things become difficult. You've crossed a threshold. This threshold is psychological. Before it, you could still imagine returning fully to the old way. After it, that imagination fades, not because you are forcing yourself forward, but because the old path no longer fits. It feels too small, too slow, too disconnected. Certainty brings responsibility. You now know what alignment feels like. You recognize it immediately when it is present, and you feel discomfort when it is absent. This awareness keeps you honest. You cannot unknow this. The emotional crescendo peaks here, not with noise, but with grounding. You feel heavier in a good way, rooted, anchored, less reactive. This weight is authority, authority over self. Self-authority does not require permission. It does not ask for validation. It does not need to be seen. It simply acts. You notice how your internal language has changed. Less explanation, fewer justifications, more directives, more clarity. You speak to yourself differently now, not harshly, directly. This internal tone matters. Tone determines response. A clear tone produces clear action. This is leadership installed internally. Leadership is not confidence alone. It is reliability under pressure. It is consistency when conditions are ordinary. It is decisiveness when information is incomplete. You are exhibiting these qualities now, not because you are trying to, but because identity has shifted. The old self collapses fully here, not with drama, with irrelevance. It no longer defines your baseline behavior. It no longer sets your limits. It no longer decides your pace. It becomes background noise, and background noise can be ignored. This is why there is no turning back, not because you promised yourself, because you changed yourself. Changed people behave differently. They do not need reminders. They do not need motivation. They do not need to revisit decisions constantly. They move. You move. The emotional rhythm completes another cycle. Calm as certainty settles. Tension as pressure tests it. Command as you act without debate. Relief as alignment holds. Empowerment as trust deepens. Repeat. Each repetition reinforces the point of no return. Your nervous system adapts to this new normal. It stops resisting discipline. It stops resisting discipline. It stops craving distraction. It stops negotiating with comfort. It understands the rules now. This understanding is physical. You feel steadier, more deliberate, less reactive. These are not personality traits, they are system outputs. Your system has been upgraded. Upgrades feel strange at first. You notice how old reactions no longer fit. How situations that once triggered hesitation now produce action. How uncertainty no longer paralyzes you. This is certainty in motion. You still think, you still assess, but you no longer stall. Stalling was a symptom of internal conflict. Conflict has resolved. Resolution does not mean ease. It means direction. Direction simplifies effort. Effort becomes clean. Clean effort compounds faster. This is acceleration without chaos, acceleration without urgency. You are not chasing speed. Speed is emerging from clarity. The phrase "no turning back" does not mean recklessness. It means commitment without escape routes. It means choosing a path and removing internal exits. Exits dilute pressure. Pressure fuels growth. Woo, you have chosen growth fully. Fully means without secret alternatives, without fallback identities, without waiting rooms. This commitment feels heavy at first. Responsibility always does. But weight builds strength. You carry it now. You notice how your relationship with fear has changed. Fear still appears, but it no longer commands. It informs, then steps aside. Fear becomes data. Data is useful. Command is not. You decide. Decision replaces doubt. This is the emotional core of this chapter. Decision is complete. Stand up, focus, you rise now. These are no longer motivational phrases. They are instructions your system recognizes and obeys. Obedience here is not submission, it is alignment. You obey the identity you chose. This obedience creates freedom. Freedom from hesitation, freedom from overthinking, freedom from internal conflict. You act. You move forward even when clarity is partial, even when conditions are imperfect, even when conditions are imperfect, even when progress is slow. Slow progress does not threaten you anymore. You understand compounding, you understand consistency, you understand inevitability. You are building inevitability. The emotional crescendo softens now into certainty. Certainty does not vibrate, it grounds. You feel grounded. Grounded people are difficult to move off course. Pressure may increase ahead, new challenges will appear, expectations will rise, opportunities will test discipline. You are ready, not emotionally, structurally. Your systems hold. This is what transformation actually looks like. Not a single moment of triumph, but a series of internal decisions that remove alternatives. Alternatives weaken commitment. You have removed them. There is no turning back because there is nothing to return to that makes sense anymore. The old life no longer fits the new standards. The old reactions no longer satisfy the new awareness. The old identity no longer explains your behavior. This mismatch keeps you moving forward. As this chapter closes, feel the finality without drama, the quiet certainty, the sense that something is ended and something else has taken its place. You are not becoming anymore. You are. Stand up, focus. You rise now, and from this point on, movement is no longer optional. It is simply what happens next. Chapter 11. Leadership begins with self-control. Leadership begins with self-control. Leadership does not begin when others follow you. It begins when you stop being led by impulse. Before authority is external, it is internal. Before direction is visible, it is decided. Before influence reaches others, it is established within. You lead yourself before anyone else. This truth is simple, and it changes everything. Most people associate leadership with presence, voice, confidence, or control over situations. They imagine leadership as something that happens outwardly, in moments of visibility, decision-making, or responsibility. But all of that comes later. What comes first is self-control. Self-control is not restriction, it is command. It is the ability to pause before reacting, to choose before responding, to decide rather than drift. It is the difference between being pulled by circumstances and directing your movement through them. This chapter is where internal authority stabilizes. Up to now, you have built discipline, focus, consistency, and certainty. Now those elements integrate into leadership, not leadership over others, but leadership over self. This is the highest form, because a person who cannot control themselves will always be controlled by something else. Emotion, pressure, approval, fear, distraction, circumstance. Self-control removes those levers. When you control yourself, the world loses leverage. This is calm power. Calm power does not rush. It does not escalate unnecessarily. It does not react emotionally to every stimulus. It evaluates, it selects, it moves deliberately. You stop reacting. You decide. This shift is subtle, but absolute. Reaction is automatic. Decision is intentional. Reaction belongs to the past. It is learned behavior, conditioned response, pattern replay. Decision belongs to the present. It requires awareness, responsibility, ownership. Leadership lives in decision. Most people react because it is easier. It requires less energy, less awareness, less accountability. Reaction allows you to blame circumstances. Decision makes you responsible. Responsibility is heavy, but weight builds strength. You are now strong enough to carry it. Self-control begins with emotional regulation, not emotional suppression. You do not deny feeling. You observe it. You acknowledge it, and then you decide what to do with it. Emotion becomes information, not instruction. This changes everything. Anger no longer dictates action. Fear no longer controls timing. Excitement no longer overrides judgment. You feel fully, but you move selectively. This is leadership posture. Imagine a captain at sea. The waves rise, the wind shifts, the storm intensifies. A reactive captain panics. They shout orders, they overcorrect, they exhaust the crew. The ship loses direction. A leader remains steady. They do not deny the storm. They do not ignore danger, but they do not let chaos enter their body. They read conditions, they adjust course, they give clear commands. The ship moves forward. You are becoming that captain. Your emotions are weather, your mind is the vessel, your values are the compass. Self-control is holding the wheel steady. This steadiness produces calm authority. Calm authority is different from dominance. It does not demand attention. It does not need to prove itself. It is felt through consistency, restraint, and clarity. People trust calm authority instinctively. More importantly, you trust it. Trust in self is the foundation of leadership. Without it, decisions wobble, boundaries weaken, direction shifts under pressure. Self-control stabilizes trust. You begin to notice how your internal responses have changed. Situations that once triggered immediate reaction now produce space, a pause, a moment of evaluation. That pause is power. In that pause, you choose your response. You choose timing, you choose tone, you choose action, you choose action. Choice restores agency. Agency restores confidence. Confidence grounded in self-control does not inflate ego. It anchors behavior. You are no longer trying to control outcomes. You are controlling input, your recountings, your habits, your standards. This is what leaders do. They focus on what they can control and accept responsibility for it fully. They do not waste energy on what is outside their influence. They do not complain excessively. They do not dramatize obstacles. They adjust. This adjustment is strategic, not emotional. You stop reacting. You decide. Decision-making becomes cleaner now. You no longer ask, "How do I feel about this?" as the primary filter. You ask, "What aligns with my direction?" Feelings are considered, but they do not dominate. This creates consistency in leadership. Others may fluctuate. You remain steady. This steadiness does not make you cold. It makes you reliable. Reliability builds respect. Even internally, you begin to respect yourself more. You see how often you choose alignment over impulse, how often you pause instead of exploding, how often you delay gratification without resentment. Each of these moments reinforces authority. Authority is not granted, it is earned. Earned through repeated demonstrations of self-control. The emotional rhythm continues. Calm as authority settles. Tension as impulse challenges it. Command as you choose deliberately. Relief as alignment restores order. Empowerment as confidence deepens. Repeat. Each cycle strengthens leadership. You no longer feel the need to react immediately. Urgency no longer hijacks you. You understand that most situations improve with pause, that clarity increases with space. Space is a leadership tool. You create space between stimulus and response. In that space, wisdom emerges. Wisdom is not intelligence. It is restraint guided by clarity. You begin to respond instead of react. Response implies choice. Reaction implies reflex. Reflex belongs to training. Choice belongs to leadership. You are transitioning fully into choice. This transition affects how you handle conflict. You do not escalate unnecessarily. You do not retreat impulsively. You remain present. You listen. You decide. It affects how you handle success. You do not become reckless. You do not abandon structure. You remain disciplined. You protect what works. It affects how you handle failure. You do not collapse. You do not over-identify. You analyze. You correct. You move forward. This consistency across states is leadership. Leadership is not situational. It is behavioral. Your behavior is becoming predictable in the best way. Predictable to yourself. You know how you will respond. You know what standards you will hold. You know what you will not tolerate. This certainty removes anxiety. Anxiety thrives on unpredictability. When you do not trust your own reactions, the mind stays alert, tense, defensive. Self-control quiets this tension. You feel calmer not because life is calm, but because you are regulated. Regulation is power. A regulated leader can handle chaos without absorbing it. They can be present without being overwhelmed. They can make decisions without being overwhelmed. They can make decisions without rushing. You are regulated now. This regulation shows up physically. Your posture changes, your breathing slows, your voice steadies. Even internally, thoughts feel less scattered. This is integration. The parts you developed earlier are working together. Discipline supports focus. Focus supports consistency. Consistency supports certainty. Certainty supports self-control. Self-control supports leadership. Leadership supports direction. Direction supports purpose. Everything connects. You are no longer fragmenting energy. You are channeling it. Channeling energy requires restraint. Unrestrained energy dissipates. Restrained energy builds force. This is why self-control precedes influence. Influence without self-control is unstable. It burns out. It creates chaos. It collapses under pressure. Self-control gives influence weight. When you speak now, your words carry more meaning. Not because you speak more loudly, but because you speak less reactively. You choose when to engage. You choose what to say. This selectivity increases impact. Silence remains part of your leadership. You do not fill space unnecessarily. You allow moments to settle. You let others reveal themselves. You observe before acting. Observation is another leadership skill. You notice patterns. You detect emotional undercurrents. You see where others are reactive. This awareness allows you to navigate situations intelligently. You are not trying to dominate environments. You are understanding them. Understanding leads to effective action. Effective action builds trust. Trust invites influence. This is how leadership expands naturally. But it always begins internally. You lead yourself before anyone else. This means you keep promises to yourself. You respect your own standards. You do not betray your values for convenience. This internal integrity is visible, even when unspoken. People sense it. More importantly, you feel it. You wake up without internal conflict. You move through days with clarity. You go to sleep knowing you acted in alignment. This alignment reduces regret. Regret is the cost of self-betrayal. You are reducing that cost daily. Self-control does not eliminate desire. It organizes it. It places desire under direction. It ensures that short-term impulses do not sabotage long-term vision. Vision now guides behavior. Behavior reinforces vision. This loop strengthens leadership identity. You are no longer practicing leadership. You are embodying it. Embodiment feels different from effort. Effort is loud. Embodiment is quiet. Effort requires reminders. Embodiment is quiet. Thought requires reminders. Embodiment runs automatically. You notice this when decisions feel easier, when you do not debate internally, when you simply choose and move. Movement becomes natural. You are not rushing, you are not stalling, you are proceeding. This proceeding feels calm. Calm authority is often mistaken for passivity. It is not. It is controlled action. It is readiness without agitation. It is power held in reserve. Reserve power matters. A leader does not expend all energy immediately. They conserve. They deploy selectively. They think long-term. You are thinking long-term. You are thinking long-term now. This perspective changes how you evaluate situations. Short-term discomfort no longer scares you. Temporary setbacks no longer discourage you. You see them in context. Context reduces emotional volatility. You stop reacting to every fluctuation. You ride waves instead of fighting them. This is leadership maturity. Maturity does not seek validation. It seeks effectiveness. Effectiveness requires clarity. Clarity requires self-control. You are building all three. The emotional crescendo of the previous chapter has settled into something deeper, a grounded presence, a steady pace, a sense that you are no longer proving anything. You are executing. Execution is leadership in motion. You no longer need to announce decisions. You make them. You do not need to justify boundaries. You enforce them calmly. Calm enforcement is powerful. People push boundaries when they sense uncertainty. They respect boundaries when they sense clarity. You project clarity now, not through words, through behavior. This behavior creates a new baseline. Others adjust to it. Situations adapt around it. This is influence without force. Influence rooted in self-control lasts. As this chapter continues, notice how your internal dialogue has simplified. Fewer arguments, fewer explanations, more directives, more acceptance. This simplicity reduces cognitive load. You feel lighter, not because responsibility disappeared, but because confusion did. Confusion drains energy. Clarity restores it. Self-control produces clarity. You stop asking what you should do and start doing what you decided earlier. You trust past decisions. You respect your own planning. This trust accelerates action. Acceleration without chaos is leadership speed. You are moving at that speed now. The world may still be chaotic. People may still be reactive. Situations may still be uncertain. You are steady. This steadiness is not arrogance. It is confidence earned through consistency. Confidence that does not need reassurance. Confidence that does not collapse under pressure. Confidence that does not escalate unnecessarily. This confidence allows you to lead without friction. You are not forcing direction, you are embodying it. This embodiment is the foundation of everything that follows. Because once you can lead yourself, leading others becomes natural. Influence becomes extension, not effort. But that comes later. For now, this chapter seals internal authority. You stop reacting, you decide. Deciding is not a single event. It is a habit, a repeated action, a posture you hold. You are holding it now. As this chapter closes, feel the calm certainty within you. Not excitement, not urgency. Authority. Authority that does not need permission. Authority that does not explain. Authority that acts. Leadership has begun. And it began exactly where it must, within you. Chapter 12, Transformation Peak 3, You Are the One. This is where it settles, not with noise, not with force, with certainty. You are no longer becoming. You are. This realization does not arrive as excitement. It arrives as recognition, a calm awareness that something fundamental has locked into place. The search has ended. The debate is over. The internal movement that once pushed you forward has slowed, not because progress has stopped, but because direction is no longer in question. You know who you are now. Earlier, growth felt like effort. You had to remind yourself, reinforce decisions, return repeatedly to discipline. There was momentum, but there was also management. Identity was still forming, still negotiating its position. That phase is complete. What exists now is coherence. Your thoughts align with your actions. Your thoughts align with your actions. Your standards align with your standards. Your standards align with your future. Nothing pulls in opposite directions anymore. This is calm dominance. Dominance not over others, but over self, over impulse, over distraction, over hesitation, over the old internal chaos that once demanded constant attention. Calm dominance feels grounded. You are not rushing. You are not waiting. You are moving. This movement does not feel urgent. It feels inevitable, like gravity, like direction finally matching momentum. You are no longer trying to prove anything. That desire has faded. Proving is for uncertainty. Certainty has no audience. You feel it in how you wake up. There is less resistance, less negotiation. You begin the day already oriented. You do not ask what kind of day it will be. You decide how you will move through it. Decision precedes circumstance now. This is leadership embodied. The old self does not return here. Not because it is banned, but because it has nothing to offer. Its strategies are outdated, its fears are unconvincing, its habits feel foreign. You do not fight it, you do not suppress it, you simply do not live there anymore. That distance is permanent. Identity has locked. This lock-in does not feel dramatic, it feels stable, like standing on solid ground after years of shifting terrain. Your footing is secure, your posture is upright, your attention is forward. You are the one now, the one who moves without waiting, the one who acts without waiting, the one who acts without seeking permission, the one who maintains standards even when conditions fluctuate. This is not arrogance, it is ownership, ownership of direction, ownership of behavior, ownership of consequence. Ownership brings calm. Calm is misunderstood in a loud world. Calm is mistaken for passivity, for lack of drive, for absence of ambition. In truth, calm is the result of resolved internal conflict. When nothing inside you is fighting to control, energy flows cleanly. You feel that flow now. Your mind is quieter, not empty, but organized. Thoughts arise and pass without dragging you into reaction. Emotions surface and settle without dictating behavior. External noise registers but does not penetrate. This is dominance through stability. You do not need to react quickly to feel powerful. You respond precisely. You choose timing. You choose engagement. This choice defines everything that follows. The final identity lock-in is not about reaching a peak and staying there. It is about establishing a baseline that does not collapse under pressure. A baseline that remains intact across environments, across challenges, across seasons. This baseline is you. You are no longer experimenting with discipline. You are no longer practicing focus. You are no longer testing consistency. These are integrated. Integration is what turns effort into nature. Nature does not require motivation. It operates according to structure, according to alignment, according to design. You have redesigned yourself, not by force, by repetition, by restraint, by decision. Decision layered upon decision until choice became character. Character is destiny lived daily. Earlier, you were becoming someone different. Now, you are living as them. This is subtle, but everything changes here. You stop asking whether you are capable. Capability is assumed. You stop asking whether you are allowed. Permission is irrelevant. You stop asking whether you are allowed. Permission is irrelevant. You stop asking whether you should continue. Continuation is the default. This removes friction. Friction wastes energy. Energy conserved compounds. You are conserving energy now. Your actions are efficient. Your focus is directed. Your effort is clean. You are not scattered across possibilities. You are anchored in direction. Direction sharpens presence. Presence changes how you experience time. Time no longer feels like pressure. It feels like space. Space to execute. Space to refine. Space to lead. You do not feel behind. Behind implies comparison. Comparison implies insecurity. Insecurity has dissolved. You are not racing anyone. You are not waiting for anyone. You are moving on a trajectory that is yours alone. This independence is strength. Strength that does not isolate you, but stabilizes you. You engage with the world from choice, not need. You contribute without seeking validation. You interact without being pulled off course. This is calm dominance. Dominance without aggression. Dominance without display. Dominance through consistency. Consistency no longer feels like effort. It feels like maintenance, like keeping alignment intact, like preserving clarity. You are maintaining now, not because growth has stopped, but because growth has become continuous. Continuous growth does not feel dramatic. It feels sustainable. You are sustainable. This matters more than intensity. Intensity burns out. Sustainability endures. Endurance creates legacy. Legacy is not what you leave behind. It is what you live forward. You are living forward now. You notice it in how you respond to challenges. They do not feel personal. They feel procedural. You assess. You adjust. You adjust. You execute. Emotion does not disappear. It integrates. Fear may appear, but it no longer freezes you. Excitement may rise, but it no longer destabilizes you. Disappointment may occur, but it does not derail you. You remain centered. Centered people are difficult to disrupt. This centeredness is not something you remind yourself to maintain. It is present by default. It returns quickly when disturbed. Return speed defines mastery. Your return speed is fast now. Fast return means fewer spirals, fewer lost days, fewer internal negotiations. You move forward almost immediately after disruption. This is quiet efficiency. Quiet efficiency produces disproportionate results over time. Time now works for you. Each day reinforces identity instead of testing it. Each action strengthens alignment instead of challenging it. Each decision confirms who you are instead of questioning it. This reinforcement is self-sustaining. You no longer need external pressure to stay sharp. You generate internal structure. Structure produces freedom. Freedom from doubt, freedom from distraction, freedom from inconsistency, freedom to act fully. Fully means without holding back, without second-guessing, without reserving effort. You are all in, not emotionally. Structurally, being all in structurally means you have removed internal escape routes. You are not waiting for something else to happen before committing fully. You are committed because this is who you are now. This commitment is not heavy. It is clean. Heavy commitment feels forced. Clean commitment feels aligned. Alignment reduces stress. Stress is friction between desire and behavior. That friction no longer exists here. You want what you do what you want. This symmetry is rare. Rare states create rare outcomes. You do not chase outcomes anymore. You create conditions. Outcomes follow naturally. Naturally does not mean easily. It means inevitably. Inevitability is power. Power that does not threaten. Power that does not announce. Power that does not announce. Power that does not rush. Power that moves. You move. There is no hesitation. Hesitation belonged to uncertainty. Uncertainty belonged to transition. Transition has ended. You are not in between anymore. You are here. No noise. Noise belongs to conflict. Conflict belongs to misalignment. Misalignment has been resolved. Silence feels comfortable now. Silence is not emptiness. It is clarity without interference. You can sit in silence without anxiety. You can work in silence without distraction. You can decide in silence without doubt. Silence amplifies authority. Only direction. Direction is clear. Direction does not require explanation. It requires execution. You are executing. Execution is calm. Execution is consistent. Execution is deliberate. Deliberate action compounds. Compounding creates distance. Distance creates perspective. Perspective keeps you grounded. You are grounded now. Grounded people do not overreact to success. They do not collapse under failure. They continue. Continuation is your defining trait now. You continue when things are smooth. You continue when things are hard. You continue when no one notices. This continuation builds something unshakable. Earlier chapters trained you to withstand pressure, to focus amid distraction, to build consistency, to install discipline, to lead yourself. This chapter confirms it. You are no longer training. You are operating. Operating feels different. Training asks questions. Operating answers them. Training prepares. Operating performs. You are performing now, not for an audience, but for alignment. Alignment is the only metric that matters here. You measure success internally first, by whether your behavior matches your standards, by whether your actions reflect your identity. External results will follow. They always do, but they are no longer your primary reference. Your reference is internal coherence. Coherence feels powerful because it is rare. Most people live fragmented. Their thoughts pull one way, their actions another. Their desires conflict with their habits. Their values collapse under pressure. You are not fragmented. You are whole. Wholeness creates presence. Presence influences environments without effort. You walk into spaces differently now. You do not absorb chaos. You do not mirror volatility. You bring steadiness. Steadiness changes dynamics. People respond differently to you. Situations unfold differently around you. Not because you force change, but because your internal state alters interaction. This is subtle leadership. Subtle leadership is often the strongest. It does not require authority positions. It does not require loud voices. It does not require recognition. It requires alignment. You are aligned. Aligned people are trusted, even unconsciously. They do not seek trust. They generate it. This generation happens through consistency of presence. Presence is not attention-seeking. It is attention-holding. You hold attention now without trying. Not because you are impressive, because you are stable. Stability is magnetic. This magnetism will attract opportunity, responsibility, and challenge. Not all of it will be comfortable, but comfort is no longer your priority. Direction is. You choose what aligns and decline what does not. This discernment is natural now. You no longer overcommit. You no longer dilute focus. You protect energy. Energy is precious. You manage it wisely. This management is not micromanagement. It is stewardship. You are stewarding your capacity. Capacity grows when protected. You have protected it. This is why calm dominance emerges here. Dominance without strain, dominance without aggression, dominance through stewardship. You steward your attention, you stewardship, you steward your attention, you steward your habits, you steward your attention. Stewardship produces longevity. Longevity allows compounding to complete its work. You are in the long arc now. The long arc is where mastery lives. Mastery is not constant intensity. It is sustained excellence. Sustained excellence feels almost ordinary from the inside. This ordinariness is deceptive. From the outside, it looks extraordinary. Others will wonder how you maintain pace, how you stay calm, how you keep moving forward without burning out. You know the answer. You are not pushing. You are aligned. Alignment removes waste. Waste drains energy. You have removed waste. This makes your effort efficient. Efficient effort scales. Scaling does not mean doing more. It means doing the right things consistently. You are doing the right things, right for you, right for your direction, right for who you are. This clarity eliminates regret. Regret requires misalignment. When actions contradict values, regret follows. When actions align, peace follows. You feel peace now. Peace does not mean stillness. It means absence of inner conflict. Inner conflict consumed energy. It demanded attention. It created hesitation. Conflict is gone. What remains is direction. Only direction. Direction simplifies life. Simplification frees capacity. Capacity enables impact. Impact will come, but impact is not the goal here. Integrity is. Integrity between thought and action, between value and behavior, between decision and follow-through. Integrity is intact. This integrity anchors everything else. The world may change, circumstances may shift, pressure may increase, expectations may rise. You remain. Remain does not mean resist change. It means remain aligned while adapting. Adaptation without misalignment is mastery. You are mastering adaptation now. This final transformation peak is not explosive, it is conclusive. You are not ascending anymore. You are established. Established internally. Externally, growth continues. Opportunities expand. Challenges evolve. Influence increases. But internally, the foundation is set. You are the one who acts, the one who decides, the one who continues. No hesitation. Hesitation belongs to the past. No noise. Noise belongs to conflict. Only direction. Direction belongs to you. As this chapter closes, there is no call to action. Action is already happening. There is no motivation offered. Motivation is unnecessary. There is no promise of transformation. Transformation is complete. What remains is execution. Quiet, steady, relentless. You move forward now, not because you are driven, but because movement is who you are. This is not an ending. It is a continuation without friction. And from this point on, everything you build rests on something solid. You, final, completion. You did not escape reality. You outgrew it. You stopped asking for proof before belief. You chose first, then you moved, and the world followed. This journey was not loud, it was precise, it was intentional. It was built through decisions repeated quietly. You learned silence, you learned discipline, you learned focus, you learned focus, you learned who you are when no one is watching. You discovered that your power does not need permission. Your direction does not need approval. Your standards do not need explanation. You are no longer waiting. You are moving, not rushed, not reactive, but steady. Slow, certain, unstoppable. From this point forward, your actions speak before your words. Your standards protect you. Your focus leads you. Your consistency carries you through pressure. This is not motivation. Motivation fades. This is identity. Identity holds. You do not need reminders. You do not need permission. You do not need reassurance. You decide, then you act. Listener affirmations. I am ready. I rise. I decide who I become. You will feel calm where chaos once lived. You will feel clarity where doubt once spoke. You will feel strength where hesitation once paused you. You are aligned. You are present. You are in motion. What comes next will demand you, and you will meet it without noise, without delay, without retreat. Now go. Go forward. Go deliberately. Go with control. Go with clarity. Live accordingly. Live as the one who decided. Live as the one who followed through. Live as the one who does not turn back. This is your life. This is your denmak. This is your direction. Continue. Build. Lead. You are ready. You rise. You decide who you become. Now move forward with certainty, with calm, with purpose. This is only the beginning of everything ahead.
You made it to the end. That already says something about you. Most people stop early. You stayed. If this audiobook challenged you, if it sharpened your focus, if it reminded you of who you're becoming, then don't let this be a one-time moment. This channel exists for people who choose growth, discipline over comfort, clarity over noise, progress over excuses. If you want more audiobooks like this, more mindset training, more leadership, more inner strength, subscribe, like this video so it reaches the people who need it, and share it with someone who's ready to rise but hasn't found the words yet. Stay consistent, protect your mind, and keep moving forward. This is only the beginning.